Thank you for joining us on Around Town, and we are really excited because it's that time of year for the Days for Wesleyan. This is the 32nd annual one, and David and Catherine Combs are the co-hosts this year. Thank you for your willingness to do that.
You're welcome.
And a lot of what, and David, I think as the mayor of Rocky Mount, a lot of what's very appropriate as we talk about the importance of Wesleyan to Rocky Mount revolves around there have been a lot of partnerships recently between North Carolina Wesleyan and the city, and those partnerships have just done nothing but make Rocky Mount a bigger and better, just a better place, better quality of life, economically, and in many other arenas too. So thank you for your willingness to do this.
You're welcome. When Eddie Coates called us to do this, and Catherine used to teach
Eddie was
Eddie.
my student at Rocky Mount Senior High School.
So how can you say no to Eddie?
That's right.
That's right.
Obviously I've been involved in it for many years, doing part of the fundraising for Day for Wesleyan and going out and calling people. So I was very familiar with it. But I don't think the average person here in Rocky Mount really appreciates the economic impact that North Carolina Wesleyan has on the community. And if you go back and you look at the Duke School of Fuqua School of Business economic impact study, and it was a combination of not only Wesleyan but Nash and Edgecombe County, Edgecombe community colleges. If you looked at all three of them together, it's about a $90 million impact as far as economic impact. So I think from a mayor's perspective, most people think about industrial development and that as an economic development project, but really when you look at our great educational institutions here, and of course North Carolina Wesleyan being at the top of that, it's really hard to say no from a mayor's perspective when this is an economic driver in our community.
And the opportunities for further education, in fact, President Gray is going to be joining us a little bit later where we talk about all the Aspire programs to help. I think they have 800 people in their adult degree program. I've heard of teachers or people who were teachers' aides who wanted to finish and get their degrees out there. But let's talk about a few things recently. USA South, the tennis courts, those are private college and city partnerships, right?
They are, and Catherine can talk more about probably the educational side of it, being a former teacher, but as far as the partnerships, I think that's an important piece for the city of Rocky Mount, and I think President Gray's done a great job with that in terms of, for a while, and I would just say from being here in the community, it felt like Wesleyan was kind of separated from the city. I think with the new parkway going out there, it brings everything closer together. But I think if you went to any community, and again, Wilson's a good example of this, but most communities embrace the colleges that are there, and they create partnerships that are good not only for the college, but good for the community. So the Dunn Center is a good example of that. And again, we buy tickets and enjoy that. But the tennis courts was a real community effort, not just Rocky Mount, but the county also participated in that, and individuals to bring something to Rocky Mount we wouldn't have had otherwise. And again, Jim saw an opportunity there to bring in the USA South tournament, and it brought something like 800 or 900 people to the community for a number of days, and the student athletes that were here. That not only does it have an economic impact, but it also exposes the community to a lot of people that may never come to Rocky Mount for other reasons, and the results were pretty terrific. The feedback was very, very positive.
And the football team, they're going to, on September 14th, they're going to be using the Rocky Mount Stadium for their home stadium. So are y'all going to the game, Catherine?
I think we're planning on it. I know I've got the platters on my list on the 12th at the Dunn Center. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, we've had Dunn Center season tickets for years, and we sit about 6 rows from the front, and I would tell you that we see people out there that might not have ever been exposed to Wesleyan before. Wouldn't you agree?
Right, absolutely, because it's a wonderful facility for the performing arts, for the literary arts, and also for visual arts. The galleries have been just fabulous for showcasing regional artists, national artists, international artists, and of course local artists. So the galleries have just been wonderful.
And it's been a really nice facility for other people in the community to be able to use too. It's just acoustically. Of course, we had the gubernatorial debates there that were. I just heard WRL say they've never had a better place set up to be able to do that. But Catherine, I'd like to know from your perspective, what Wesleyan, because we're fundraising. I mean, this is the one time a year that the community comes together, town and gown, and says thank you to Wesleyan with the understanding that we really value this college. Kind of tell what it means to you.
Well, I think that a community that has a facility like North Carolina Wesleyan is saying we support higher education. And we understand that not everyone is going to go to college and not everyone's going to go from college to graduate school. But what we're saying is we're making it available for our local students, for other students, all the way to international students, all the way from China, to come and be a part of that. And I think when a community shows their interest in higher education, you're saying learning is important. And learning is important because every time we talk about how dysfunctional maybe modern society is, it all goes back to learning and whether it's available and at what level and access students have. And to have such a fine facility in our community, I think everyone just needs to be gaga about it because it's incredible. And again, every time we turn around, the ratings and the rankings for the college just keep going up because of the fine leadership and the professors and the staff that the college employs. So, I encourage everyone to come out and support the college with whatever efforts you choose to make, but particularly during this time when you're going to support the college with some financial backing.
And we're going to talk a little bit more with President Gray and with the Dean of Students.
But I think in what to follow up on her is comments is that the educational piece is also critical when you start talking to companies looking at coming to an area like Rocky Mount. They want to come into a community where you have educational facilities that will provide workers. And again, here's a partnership again with Wesleyan and Nash and Edgecombe Community College. That they've really done a nice pathway to go into Wesleyan and instead of going to maybe some other schools or working with Wesleyan. So I think that's a good sign to any kind of company that's looking at our area in terms of economic development. The fact that we have two community colleges and a four-year school like North Carolina Wesleyan, that it really has a strong impact on companies looking at coming to the community.
And we're looking also with the new Eastern North Carolina Business Center and Entrepreneurial Center. That will be a place that can really help with training for jobs. So existing customers and clients who are already in town who have businesses can go to them and say, I need help, I need encouragement. And we all know that, in Rocky Mount, normally it's 80% of small business drives the community, but I think it's even 90% in Rocky Mount, isn't it?
I think if you went across the country, and it's critical for us to have the large companies like Cummins and Hospira and Honeywell and PNC located here. But if you look abroad across the community, in any community, small businesses are what drive the community, and it may be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people working in a small business, but those are 5 jobs, and you multiply that times 1,000 businesses, and there's 5,000 employees in those small businesses there. And I think what's important in being a small businessman and going through it, I think when you start out, you're the janitor, you're the landscaper, you may be the CEO, but you're also doing everything. But hopefully the new enterprise or entrepreneurial school that they're going to have at Wesleyan will help not only a pathway for people to become entrepreneurs, but also help those that are already there right now and hopefully not make some mistakes that you make by trial and error. Hopefully that is here for a learning for people that want to own their own business.
Well, Catherine, on the day, September 17th, which is a Tuesday, what can we expect? I think 75 people are going to, volunteers will get together and do what?
Well, I think they're going to have a telephone. Some people are going to make visits and some people are going to be calling people. And then I'm not sure in terms of the rest of what's planned. Probably Jim Gray can give you a better picture of that.
But if you're called on, we really want everybody to say yes. And it, different people can give different amounts. Different corporations can give different amount. But every little bit counts. And it's a way to really be a part of something wonderful.
Sure. It's one thing to say that you value education. It's another thing to support it with your dollars.
Well, and again, getting back to the campaign, a lot of people have already established contacts in the community that they call every single year, and it's almost an automatic that these people have already said, you know, I'm going to set aside X amount of dollars for Wesleyan every year because it's important to us and our community. And I think, you know, from my experience over the years, that those people that have been a part of it continue to be a part of it because they recognize the importance of it. I think what we're trying to do is expand it out beyond those people that are not participating now to help educate them on how important North Carolina Wesleyan is to the Rocky Mount community.
And that's a great point, and I'm sure if they call the college and ask to speak to the president's office, that they will be glad to write down your name and let us, you know, either you can go ahead and say, I'd like to make this contribution, I'd like somebody to call me that day, and just be a part of this wonderful endeavor. And I have to say, I don't know if you've been out the college. You've been out the college recently, haven't you? Isn't it beautiful?
It is.
It's just such an asset to our community.
It is.
Well, and again, it is the facilities are out there now. They're improving on those. They're adding new facilities, and it's just like I said, with the new parkway there, it brings everything closer together. It makes it much easier to get
5
there.
minutes to get there, not even from Winstead Avenue. It's very, very close now.
Well, thank you. Appreciate your willingness.
Thank you,
to
and,
take
and
this
for
on.
everyone that's looking at this program, we hope you will be very supportive when somebody calls on you for our Wesleyan campaign this year, and we just hope everyone will support the campaign.
Well, great. Well, we appreciate your service,
Thank you,
and
Jean.
we'll be back in just a minute with the Dean of Students, Dr. Williams, and also Jim Gray. Stay with us.
Are you just starting out on your own and want to be independent? Do you have a family and need a bigger home? Are the kids moving out? And are you downsizing? First Carolina Realty can help. A 1 or 2 bedroom apartment or house for those starting out. A 3 or 4 bedroom home for a growing family. Rentals, sales, new homes, pre-owned homes, investment property in the city or in the country. Call First Carolina Realty. Now is a good time to make that move. Real estate prices are right, interest rates are low, and there is a fantastic selection of homes available. First Carolina Realty is a full-service licensed real estate firm with offices located at 1100 West Thomas Street, open 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday. If you have rental properties and are tired of the headaches associated with managing them yourself, or if you're looking for a new management team to manage your rental properties, call First Carolina Realty at 252-985-2321. Visit our webpage at firstcarolinarealty.com. We will gladly help you with all your real estate needs.
Hi, I'm Jean Almond of Almond's Drugs, and I want to invite you to be Almond's customer for your prescriptions. Our average pharmacy wait for your prescription is only 10 to 15 minutes. We have drive-through windows at both locations. We will deliver your prescription free. Our friendly and very experienced pharmacists specialize in consultation, and we are locally owned and have been a loyal part of your community for over 70 years. Just make one phone call to us and we'll make the transfer so we can start taking care of you. We're so happy to have Dr. Randy Williams, who is the Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students, with us.
Thanks for having me.
And President Jim Gray, welcome to you.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. And you have been here 4 years, right?
That is correct. 4 years, starting the 5th year now.
Well, isn't it a great place?
A wonderful place, a wonderful place. I've done a lot of growing here.
Well, and I think, I have to say, every time I talk to you, and I'm going to call y'all Jim and Randy, and you can call me Jean. So, not showing disrespect, just friendly.
Sure.
But things are just, in my opinion, just mushrooming out there. I mean, we've just made so many new networks, or created more new networks. And Jim, one thing we're going to talk about too, but let's jump in and say that first,
Okay.
because it fits with what Mayor Combs and Catherine have talked about, with getting students into the community, with educating them, with connecting them. The hourly.com is one of many new programs, right?
Yes, we want to get our students out into hourly jobs, part-time jobs, so they can help pay their tuition, but also to learn the world of work. So we're going to be calling, starting this weekend, calling on Twin County businesses to offer hourly jobs, put up on a website called hourly.com, and internships. We have quite a few students who do work in the community. And we have a few internships with Cummins and elsewhere, but we want more. We want more of our students to have that business experience, because that's part of what we do, and business is our most popular major. So part of the Entrepreneurial Center is to get them out working and seeing business people and entrepreneurs.
Well, and anytime one has a job or job experience on a resume too, it really does help. And I have to say, my experience with the students in North Carolina Wesleyan, not many of them come with a silver spoon in their mouths. These are many first in their family going to college. I know, Jim, we were talking earlier about on the Board of Trustees, there's 6 first-generational Wesleyan graduates, first in their family to go to college on the Board of Trustees, right?
Well, that's right. I want Randy to tell our viewers about the West One program that we're kicking off this fall to help those students.
Yeah, and this is a new initiative started with a faculty member and one of our staff members who taking a look at our first generation college students, recognizing the special challenges that they face, and being a former first generation college student myself, thank you. I'm really excited about this program because at Wesleyan we have a real niche for that, and where there's a niche, there's a need for us to provide special programs and services that will accommodate the students' needs. And so we're excited about the West One program that will look at them not to ostracize them or highlight them in a negative way, but to really give them what they need. And I think that's what we should do in student services, provide students their needs, addressing their needs, and we think that we can focus on them and provide those programs and services.
And that's one of the beauties of a smaller campus, a smaller school like Wesleyan. You can have smaller classes. The professors and all know their students on a one-on-one, very good relationship to help them in any way possible, as opposed to a bigger university. But back to your hourly.com, which we'll put information on the screen about that. But that's a way to help give them pocket money, because a lot of them do have to drop out, I think, to earn money to come back and whatnot. So this is a way the community can benefit, but they can benefit too.
Yeah, there are lots of challenges in higher education. Randy knows that, and you're well aware of them. But our and most colleges' number one challenge right now is affordability. The continually rising cost of college education, almost unconnected to reality and the ability to pay, and the continuing tight budgets that families have. And so whether you're Carolina and you're struggling with less money from the legislature, or you're a Wesleyan student whose mother has lost her job and the father sold the car, but you still got college tuition, this affordability question is real, and it does send some of our students home. And so the money that comes in from Days for Wesleyan, that's unrestricted. And we put that right into supporting students with scholarships and student support center that Randy runs, and bringing in people and hiring counselors for people who have some difficulty. But so that's the lifeblood. This Days for Wesleyan is not just, we don't put it in an endowment. It's unrestricted. We spend it that year on things that we need to do to make our students successful.
And that's been an annual commitment, that those dollars are things that mean the world to y'all, that this community provides, to say, we love this college, we want to be there for y'all, we want to invest in the future successes of it. But Randy, talk a little bit more about, the student center, renovations of dorms and stuff, that the dollars, that the generosity of the wonderful people of this area.
Oh, absolutely. Well, going back again to that concept of needs, we're out there to serve some needs, and our students come to Wesleyan trying to become them full selves, to reach all the potential that they have, and they need certain things there, like facilities are very important there. We're very proud about the Edgecombe Residence Hall that was renovated this past summer, and we have about 120 beds now in a building that's completely renovated. Everything from the ceiling to the floor is new in those buildings.
And I went into it before it was
Did you?
renovated,
Great.
and it needed because first off, it'd been there a long time. But secondly, you're competing for other students, and kids today, if they go in and they don't like even where they have to stay, they'll that will impact their decision whether they come to a college or not, won't it?
Great, yeah, absolutely, it certainly will. I mean, those little things really mean a lot to our students, particularly in this day and time when the market is so competitive with amenities that universities and colleges are offering. So we have to be in the thick of things in the middle of that race. And so we're happy with the Edgecombe Hall. We're also proud of the Hartnett Center. You know, this is a place for students to let their hair down and come in and interact with other students or break away from their residence hall or from the classes, and so have a good balance there. So there are pool tables and ping pong tables, nice big screen televisions there. So it's a sense of community within a community in that place right there. So the Hartnett Center is really nice.
And I want to say people recognize the name Hartness
Yeah.
too as one
Yeah,
of the
absolutely.
many local, generous Dr. Hartness benefactors of the college. And Southern Bank, in fact, invested in the college too.
Absolutely. You got to come out there and take a look at this wonderful green space that we have. It's sort of the town square. And it is doing exactly what we thought it would do and we wanted to do. Last week after classes began, the classes are changing and students are sitting outside and their faculty and staff outside, sitting on this very nice place with a patio and the furniture and the flowers out there, nicely laid sod out there. And so it's very nice to see students have this place where they can feel, wow, this is a gathering place for us, this is a meeting place for us, having greater ownership of the institution. And it's their collegiate experience, and we want to serve them in the best way we can. Yeah.
Well, and Jim, as I want to talk about the entrepreneur, the Eastern North Carolina Business and Entrepreneurship Center. How is that going to help us from your perspective? I mean, you and I've talked, so I know, but I want to hear everybody to hear it from you that, wow, this is just a real opportunity for Rocky Mount area.
Well, it is. We business administration, a most popular major, and most of those students, when you talk to them, they say, "I want to set up my own business, not I want to be Steve Jobs or I want to work for IBM." But since we have to cover so much in business administration, we don't have much time in the classroom to teach them finance for small businesses or about family businesses or special challenges in financing and hiring for a small business. So this is really set up mainly as a teaching center to take not just our students and teach them how to set up their own business, but also a gathering place for entrepreneurs to come. I had lunch with one of our wonderful entrepreneurs, and he's going to be on the advisory board, and he's going to be involved so he can teach our students, here's what I did, here's my mistake, here's what I was successful. And, you know, an entrepreneur fails as many times as he or she succeeds, and that's part of the learning process. Over time, we expect more of these students to stay in Eastern North Carolina. We expect more of them to set up their own business and create jobs. We think, and a lot of people think, it's really going to help our region. And so what a great project. We can help our students and help our region at the same time. Perfect.
With the tennis courts too, the city, people in the city can use those when the college is not using them, right?
Right. I want more people to come out on a beautiful fall day and play tennis for free. Your city tax dollars have helped build that, and we want you to come out and enjoy it and see the campus.
Beautiful tennis courts too.
They are.
They're
Very
first-rate
nice.
tennis courts.
They look as
Very
good
nice.
as U.S. Open is this week.
Tell us about the students coming in, Randy, now. I mean, I'm sure the excitement is just great, and the football team, and we talked
Absolutely.
about using the Rocky Mount Stadium,
Yes.
which is great.
Yeah, there's a ton of excitement. It's always an exciting time of the school year, seeing the return. They bring so much energy, and we really like to feed off that energy there and to help them with all the fun that they have and so forth here at the college and the learning experience. So this is a really experiential learning period time. So we're excited to have them here to enjoy in all those offerings that we have here at the university, at the college.
Jim, we've only got a couple minutes left. Give us a pitch. Catherine and David and all of us who've watched for about 30 years, but make the case for us on Dave.
Here's the
Dave's
pitch.
Wrestling.
1956, a group of all men at that point came together on the direction and leadership of Arthur Tyler and people like Guy Barnes and the Gravely family. They came together and they raised $1.5 million.
Wow.
The Methodist Church raised about $2 million and founded Wesleyan. We opened up our doors in 1960. And so that's what we're about. We began by this community supporting us not just with their arms and legs and brains, but with their pocketbooks, their donations, And every year it's really important for us to keep to take the community commitment. And this community loves Wesleyan College. Sometimes we
It's
deserve
our college.
It is.
That's
Sometimes
great.
we may not deserve it, but this town loves us, and one of the ways they show it is through helping us financially.
And so it will be our turn, September 17th. You want to grab the football? I just noticed football beside you.
Yes.
That has Wesleyan on it. So the 14th, come out. Is it 1 o'clock, the game?
1 o'clock is our opening game at the City Stadium.
And come watch your team, right?
That's
Right.
right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, and we'll see you on September 17th. And again, call North Carolina Wesleyan. It's 985-5100. Press option 3 for President Gray.
I'll take the
And
call.
He'll be glad to take the call. Thank you. Have a great day.